G'day there everyone. I've just got a new circuit I'd like to show you today. Sorry it's a little bit dark at the moment, I will brighten things up in a moment. What I'm working with is ambient solar again, so that's why it's dark. I have my multimeter hooked up to this circuit here. As you can see, my camera light's on, and it is actually charging the circuit just off the light in the camera. You can see it going up on that voltmeter there. We've just gone past 0.4 of a volt and it's charging rather rapidly now. I've got my camera light on. I do have all my curtains closed to try and keep it dark to show you what's going on at the start here. So, first thing, I've got these other two circuits, they'll be charging too. They're not as efficient. These solar panels don't work in ambient light nearly as well as these flexible ones. Obviously the flexible one's a lot bigger too. So, I'll open up the curtains and you can watch the power increase. Going a bit faster now? I think so. So that's not heaps of light either. I'll just swivel the camera around for a sec while we let that charge up a bit. It's not quite where I want it yet. And you can see I do have lots of bright light outside. It's a nice clear day. But the sun's not on this side of the building anymore. It's just gone past noon. That's an east facing window. Okay, so no light coming in on any of my furniture or anything. No direct sunlight in the room at all. Just ambient light coming in through that window. And we've reached 1.5 volts in the capacitor on this little blocking oscillator, which I'll bring up close so you can see. Right, I have a 2N2222 transistor. Oh, 2222A. Camera's almost going to work well enough that you can read that. Those of you watching in HD on full screen might be able to read that. I've got a really rubbish transformer there. All three transformers are rubbish, they're just bifilars I pulled off circuit boards. If I wanted to do this really good, I would have 10:1 or more ratio with the longer side connected to the base of my transistor. This is kind of more of a proof of concept thing rather than something that's supposed to work really well. So anyway, we're over the voltage required for my LED now, so enough rambling, let's get on with the experiment. So I have a clip lead, got an LED by the positive leg. So I'm going to chuck this on the positive side of my capacitor. And I'm going to touch the negative on now, as I'm sure you're expecting. It's going to flash bright for a moment and it's going to dim back. Okay, so you can see that. I don't know if the camera's showing that, but that LED is actually activating at 1.6 volts. You have to be in almost total darkness to see the light that it's giving off. Oh, I've put my hand across the solar panel so we're losing volts. There we go. But that is lit up a tiny bit. Probably can't see it on the camera. Very dimly lit up. But 1.6 volts is the forward breakover of these little orange LEDs. They light up pretty brightly around 2.2. So as you can see, one little ambient light oscillator. It's not running my LED hardly at all. It's a bit useless. So I thought, I wonder if you can sum up the outputs of these things. And it turns out it's really easy. I'll grab an extra couple of clip leads. Just so you can see, for those that are wondering. These two are probably going to have about 0.6 of a volt in them. I'll grab another voltmeter. There's one. Take that off amps. Grab the little leads. There we go. Some 2 volt scale, DC. Stick in there. And I'll measure these other two capacitors. And if you're wondering how I have these capacitors connected, well, look at that, it's pretty pathetic. 0.3 of a volt. Okay, nothing to write up to mum about there. These solar panels are rubbish in ambient light, and it's a pretty rubbish oscillator too. This other one's a lot better. But again, like I said, they're all 1:1 windings. It's not what I'd do if I really wanted to get high power out of this. Yeah, if you're wondering how I have these capacitors hooked up, yeah, that one's not even showing any volts. Did I get that hooked up right? That can't be right. I have a stray wire shorting out my cap. I might have to start this video again. How is that not lighting up? I should have something in there. Where's the light? You notice the other one's charging up quite nicely in the ambient light. Oh, there we go, just needed a kickstart. Not going too good, that one. I'll try propping it up a bit. There we go, it's going to stay there. Nearly. So as you can see, those two little ones are kind of rubbish. Not much good for anything. But they do oscillate, so that'll prove the point. I can get a little bit of power into those two caps. They're 1000 microfarad 25 volt caps, if you're wondering. And I just have a little diode on the negative side. And that's it. That's all there is to the connection. So I'm going to take the positive off that cap, and I'll put it to the negative of this cap. And then I'll go from the negative of this cap, from the positive of this cap, to the negative of that cap. Naughty cap. I'll sneeze. For good luck. And we'll move, what do we got there? This positive over. And we'll see how many we have in our total. So we had 2.6 there, I believe, when I took that off. 2.7 maybe. Oh, look at that. Now we've got 3 volts, 3.5 volts. So let's chuck this LED across here. I'll just stick it up to the other end of this orange wire because I'm running out of room on the cap there. It's still the same connection though. And I'll touch that to the... Oh look, that was a bit brighter, and I think you might just be able to see that lighting up with the camera. I'll let it charge up a bit. Yeah, that's not very focused, is it? And we'll do that again. You can just see there's a tiny bit of light there. So, there you have it. Summing up the output of your oscillators. It's as simple as adding a capacitor to each one and running them in series. Couldn't get any easier. I'll wind up some coils later and see if I can juice up these little ambient light circuits a bit more and see what we can do with it. Thanks for watching.